Good evening and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be taking some low light photography shots and stacking them in Photoshop. Let's go! As I said in the intro, we're going to be taking some low light, long exposure shots. I'm going to get into the reason why it's long exposure. I'm out here in the middle of Newbury where I work. I don't really know the area, so I've picked a random spot. Got a bit of advertising, some Cinch self-storage advertisement, big bright sign. And when I got here, there was nobody here. Now there's lights on. And so I'm just going to incorporate that into the photo. Photo's not great, I'm not going to lie, but it's the principle behind it. I've got an annoying rubbish Citroen right there. I was going to say we're losing light, but that was the whole point of this evening's shot. This is also it was going to be in low light mode, which actually looked quite good on the screen anyway, but it's now I've just put it in full auto so that I can get the active tracking, because the active tracking wouldn't work in low light mode, which is a bit annoying. But I've got my Canon R5, my 24-70, and I've set it to, at the moment it's 2.5 seconds exposure, f20, which I'll explain why in a minute, and 400 ISO. The 400 ISO is literally just to level it out a bit, but I can hear loads of people. I'm conscious that there's going to be some absolute idiots cutting about in a minute, so I'm conscious because I can hear them running around. So let's get on with it. The reason why I've got f20 is I didn't really talk about it that much in my previous aperture video, which I'll link up here. But the closer you get to f22 or further, it increases the starburst effect, which I'll show you in a minute. And the closer you get to like f1.4 at the other end of the spectrum, you pretty much don't get any star effects. But I thought I'd do that today just so I can show you long exposure, different ways to take long exposure, some things to point out about long exposure, for example using a 2-second or a 10-second timer, and as you can see here, maybe a tripod. Definitely need a tripod, which also come on to in a second. Like I said, my settings are 2.5 seconds, f22 and 400 ISO. Now I've already taken a shot and this cloud's literally moved now. There's got a bit of orange in the sky, so just accept that I've taken that shot, which I'll put up now. And what I'm going to do next is raise the exposure just so that I can get, basically you're going to have 3 exposures for this. It's going to be hopefully for you guys, a nice short sharp video. So you'll have 1 exposure with the sky and the cloud that I've already exposed, which I'll show now. I'll have 1 exposure with the car, so it's not just complete pitch black, and then we'll have 1 exposure with my rear lights, because I like my rear lights on my car, and that's like the main emphasis. In the future, probably when I when I get a better car, I'll do one that incorporates flash photography as well. I was going to do it here, but I don't really know the area, and I'm on a bit of a time crunch. It's late at night and I've still got to work tomorrow. So I thought I'd try and get this bit of value to you, and then once I filmed this, I have to wait a couple of days till the weekend before I can edit, and I will show you in my studio, in my office, how to layer the images together in Photoshop. Essentially, it's similar to a previous video that I did with, polarizing filter, which I'll link up here, where you stack images on top of each other and yeah, reveal them in Photoshop. But if you didn't see that, we're going to crack on with that, and obviously I'll update you in the edit. But for now, it's going to take a couple of shots and then I'll have to do some magic editing where obviously I'm talking to you going, you can see this shot, but obviously I haven't edited it for another 2 or 3 days, so bear with. Anyway, let's get into it. First image that you've already seen is the sky image. I'm now going to re-expose and take a picture of my car to get a bit more exposure on my car. So we're going to change it to 4 seconds because we're just going to bring a bit more exposure onto my car. No, we're going to do, let's do 8 seconds. Let's do that. One of the hardest things to do is make sure that you're in focus. So what I tend to do is zoom in and manual focus. That looks pretty good. I use a 10-second timer, so we're on 8 seconds, 100 ISO, f20. Just gonna wait 8 seconds, there we go. Beauty, starburst everywhere. I reckon I've got a bit of a dirty lens because it's popped up everywhere. Well, that could be some reflection, but we'll see. Starburst is pretty savage.
I like that you've got a camera, sir.
Thanks.
Have a nice rest of your evening.
You too. So I just had to wait for some people to come past. Yeah, they looked, and it's dark, I didn't really look at them properly, but they must have been about 15, 16, and they sounded absolute, just gonna swear then, drunk, let's put that, pissed. They sounded absolutely pissed. Yeah, so taking that shot. One thing I would say is if you leave your, or take your auto white balance off, if you ever use it, try and always stick to one white balance because it gives you flexibility in post, because if it's changing white balance between shots and you didn't notice, it's be an absolute nightmare. But yeah, just a word of advice. So yeah, tips: auto white balance off, 2-second timer, and use a tripod. 3 big tips at the moment. So I've taken 2 shots. 1 shot's for the sky, 1 shot's from a car, but it looks horrendous because it's like orange tungsten light. I hate it, it looks horrific. But because it's the same white balance across the board between the 2 images, I can edit it in post. I can like edit my car, for example, to be slightly bluer afterwards. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn on my car, put on my rear lights, and then blast another photo with the exposure of my lights. So I'm going to do that now and hope nothing gets nicked. It might follow me, I don't know, we'll see. Is it going to follow me? No, it jams. Does it do this way? All the whole way. Does it go the whole way? Nice, it does. It only goes one way, so you'll probably lose me in a second anyway, but 2 sec. Nope, yeah, pick me up. Knew it wouldn't have done. Let's go back to the start, shall we? Come all the way back round. Here we go. Double tap. So, got my lights on, we're back on. So, I did notice when I was setting this shot up that my one of my number plate lights is like on and off, but it's on at the moment, so that's good. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to expose for the rear lights. So I'm going to change the shutter speed. So we'll have nice crisp lights. So they're like not F. So everything's going to stay the same. I'm just going to change the shutter speed. So we're going to have 1 1/3. What do you call it? 1 1/3 shutter speed, second. Do that now. Much quicker. Let's zoom in a little bit and check that. I'm not sure the focus was. Focus is alright. Maybe I'll make it a little bit brighter to give me some options. I want to get that number plate light as well, so I'm going to change it to 6 seconds. See what happens. That's a bit better. Bit more of a glow. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. It's got a bit of what do you call it? It's got a bit of starburst in the rear lights. I'm going to turn this camera off now, but it's got a bit of starburst in the rear lights. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So what I've done is I've taken obviously shots of the sky, main shot of the car to get that exposed, and then a main shot of the rear lights. But because of how dim and annoyingly dim my rear number plate lights are, I've done those at 2 different exposures as well. It'd be nice to have some white LED, what do you call it, number plate lights, but we're not doing that because I don't have any, and it's a Citroen. But what I might do is I'll just test something out you come around this way, let's see if it picks me up. Is how quickly, are you going to pick me up? Oh, you have picked me up. So basically I've got purple. Let's do another one. Come on, don't go out yet. Boom, I like that. You can see that now. I've got purple LED mirrors. Yeah, I like that. Like that. It makes it a little bit better because it's a terrible Citroen. I'm going to say this every time my car enters the chat until I've got a BMW that I'd like, or the Mini. Not decided yet. I would like a 5 Series, but I just haven't got the cash. So like and subscribe, and you never know, might get some cash one day with this. But yeah, not that I'm going to beg for that at all, but that's that. What are we on? 15 minutes. I can probably chop this down to 10 minutes so that you're not hanging around too long. But what we're going to do now is going to bring these photos. Just going to move this a little bit. You're going to come down. There we go. Bring this photos in. What do you call it? Photoshop at my house in a couple of days, and then you'll meet future edit Ben Beal. So with that, what we're going to do is we're going to wrap it up here and head to my studios now. And here we are back with future Ben Beal in the studio 2 days later. It's now Saturday and I was filming Thursday, I think. We're just going to go straight into it. I've got the 5 photos that I've whittled down from 10 or 12, I think, that I had. We've got this one here with the sky, like I mentioned. We've got this one to bring a bit more exposure to the car. We've got this one for the lights and potentially the sign. If the sign was related to obviously the shoot, then you would use the sign to bring in the information. Obviously this one's a bit brighter. I quite like this one with the number plate lights, but I'm not a fan of the starburst that's around these lights. And then the last one, like we did, is the purple that I'll add. I'll try and add anyway. I might have screwed myself over because of all the difference between the ground and everything else like that. We might be able to get away with it with these two, but we'll see, because the headlights are on this one now. So we'll see. We have to do some jiggery pokery. I might have to do this for the sky, this for the number plate and the purple, potentially this one just for the rear lights. Oh no, sorry, this one for the rear lights. We'll see, but we'll bring it in now, and we'll go through the principle. The end result might not be the best what we're after, but we'll go through the principle. If only I had a nice car with nice alloys, then yeah, that would be much better and in a better location. But there we go. And also kind of ruined it. Now I've clearly got some dirt on the sensor or dirt on the lens. I haven't done any long exposure photography for a long time with this camera and lens combo. So yeah, I'm gonna have to a look at that. Have a good clean. But we'll see. Anyway, let's bring these. I'm not going to edit them. Let's bring them all into Photoshop to start with. Open. Annoyingly, they're all in different layers. So this is the layer that I'm going to work on. The reason why I did pick this one is because it was like 4K. What do you call it? A 4K aspect ratio. But I've got 4K DCI with these bloody images. So we'll see. Maybe I don't even have to work on this one. Maybe I'll use this one as my background layer. But anyway, we'll see. What I'm going to do is there's probably a better way of doing this, but I'm going to duplicate the layer, pick where I want it to go, and it should, there we go. Now we've got 2. I'll do the same for the other ones. So that's that one. I brought that one in. So I'm going to duplicate this one. Bet yeah, it's probably the way of doing it is, if you were like, it goes in, you'd say open as layers in Photoshop or something like that. But whilst we're here, we're already in, and I'm on a bit of a time crunch this morning because I work away during the week and I only get Saturdays and Sunday with the family, and I'm just constantly working with this channel. But there we go, that's enough about me. So we've got background layers, all the background layers. So what I want to do is, because this is the main one For the sky, there's just going to be layers everywhere. What I might do is use this as the main one and then bring in little bits here and there. So, how shall I do this? I was going to say use this one as the top. Use this as a top layer for the sky and rub stuff out underneath. Maybe I'll just use the sky, but I'll add that in at the end. We'll see. Let's put this underneath. Try and see which one's best to do, because the ones that I want to keep. What I'll do is, this is confusing me. It's confusing because so many layers. Be alright if there's just two. What I'll do, let's see what I want to do for the main components, shall we? Let's do that. So they're pretty similar, to be honest. The only reason why I had this one was to get the exposure. Not that you can see me pointing, but to get the exposure, there we go, on the car. It's almost exactly the same exposure. It is pretty much the same exposure on the car. So I'll get rid of this one, delete that one, and then what I'll do is, let's use this as the main layer. And what I'll do is, this is going to make sense. This is the main layer because of the sky. What I'm going to do is going to bring back the sky underneath. Select that layer, mask, brush tool, nice and big, just get rid, see what it does for us. There we go. Going to bring that back in. It looks harsh for now. Put that out because the trees aren't too shabby. How dark they are. So let's zoom in using command and command and the plus and minus sign. Use the brackets to bring in trying to concentrate. Bring the brush size down. Jeez, got there in the end. Still doing it fairly rough to start with, and I'll bring it in. I'll align it a bit better afterwards. What's that sign? That sign's not too shabby actually. Let's bring that sign back in. When you start getting it nice and dark, the blinds blur out alright, to be fair, as in they're less noticeable. I always try and find significant lines so that you don't necessarily see the annoying blend line. Yes, you can kind of see it now. It's looking alright. Get away with that, to be fair, with the car. I'm kind of rushing this just for the principle. Oh, that's a nice highlight on the roof actually, from the sky. We'll leave that on there. I like that little rim light on the car. If it's on this side. What I should have done, to be honest, actually, like I did in the last tutorial, was use auto align layers, because because I am on a tripod. Hang on, let's get back. Just align the building. It's too much of a contrast. Otherwise, I'll just have the whole thing right. I might as well just start with one layer. Right, let's bring that back. So what I did to bring the layer back from underneath is X to switch. Like over here, if I press X, you can switch the colours to bring a layer back or take a layer off. For now, there'll be some, just testing something out. That would be, I was going to say, there's some photography retouchers out there absolutely mental at me, going, what the hell are you doing? It's just obviously going through the principle. So now I've brought back some light and the lights. Do you see what I mean? Got the nice sky, brought back these lights. Now what I might want to do now is, because this is going to be on there, what I could probably do with this is, instead of bringing the whole layer, I could choose the layout just for the purposes of this. I'm going to cut the back end off. I've copy and pasted and then brought it in, so you can see here, and all I'll do is put the lights on by doing the same with the layer mask. That's probably a better way of doing it, like I said, but I'm trying to do it quicker to show you, and if it works, it works. So I'm just going to tidy it up. Let's bring that highlight back in there. Like the number plate lights. I'll leave the number plate lights nice and bright. Let's turn that on and off. think we're still going to have the flare. Still going to have the flare. Let's see if it makes much difference. Yeah, it's alright. It does make a difference. So bring it back in. Like I said, go up to the edge. The reason why I'm rushing is obviously just to show you the principle, like I keep saying, because I'm conscious that I'm rushing. You'd be like, oh God, that's not how you do it. Otherwise we would have a video that is incredibly long and no one's going to watch it. So it's bad enough that there's a Citroen, no one's going to watch it. I don't even know how far we're in at the moment. Let's get rid of this. Let's tidy up a little bit. I can't make it look too flipping rubbish. Right, let's go to the other light. What's that look like? Let's zoom out. My laptop's so dirty you can hardly see it anyway. Right, that's very, very rough. So I prefer obviously the less exposed rear lights, but I want to keep the bright number plate lights, if that makes sense. Let's get rid of that layer. Really, I've only kept the lights. Comment below if you agree with me though, that looks better than that. Let's bring it back. What else did we have? Oh, the purple. So what I might have to do with the purple is, same again, turn it on, use the polygon tool this time. So it's less, is just cut it out. We paste, get rid of the main layer, and you can see there, look, well it's hard, you can't, that's crazy. When I zoom it in, like, you can hardly see anything anyway. I have to tidy. Let's tidy the windscreen up. That's nuts. That's actually pretty nuts that you can hardly see anyway. I actually cannot see the cut when I turn it on and off. You can see it jigging a little bit. There's probably something really, really obvious as well. How annoying. I'm just going to check all the layers now. Now you can see, It's wild. I'm actually, sorry guys and girls, I'm actually speechless of how on point that is. Usually when I turn a layer on and off, it's really obvious. But, cool beans, we've got to that base. Now what I'm going to do, all these layers are here. I'm going to select them all. Let's do layer, flatten image, select, and then I'm going to use, because remember I haven't edited any of these yet, filter, usually filter, there we go, camera raw edit. Also not in the best situation to be editing because the screen's dim enough, but I've got obviously a light right next to me that's crazy bright. So they're all flattened. Let's see what auto does. Nah, disgusting. What we're going to do, we're just literally going to make a couple of adjustments. Maybe bring up the shadows slightly and see what the white balance does. Now I said it saying earlier in the video that the white balance might be off. I quite like that actually. So that's why it's make it a bit bluer, makes the sky a bit bluer. Let's go a bit magenta as well. That's quite nice. On and off. Maybe less blue to be fair. That's pretty harsh. Yeah, like that. I might. I was going to say. I was going to brush in the clouds to be a bit more orange. Let's have a look, shall we? I think it would look pretty bad, obvious, because of the contrast of the skies. Just to see. Oh, that's not too bad actually. I thought it was going to be way worse because of the. Obviously, look, you can see when you go to the extremes, it's really obvious, but just making it a bit more like that. That's cool. It also doesn't help. The colour of my car is flipping grey, so it doesn't really expose very well. But like I said in a previous, when I was at the car park, that it would be good if I had flash photography as well to emphasise the car a bit better. But it's really, really, really dirty at the moment, so it's not going to emphasise it anyway. Like I keep saying, this is to test the principles, show you the principle. Oh, hang on a minute, that's just for the sky. Let's go back. So, a bit of clarity. Who doesn't like a bit of clarity? Look, a bit of opposite clarity. Boom. That'd be horrendous. Just spruce it up a little bit. So it's on. That's on. Nice. Bit of vignette. See what they do. I'm happy with that, to be honest. Could probably recrop it, but let's say okay. Cool. As you can see, we've gone from, I'll put them on screen, when it is a bit better isolated. So we've gone from that. We've used obviously the different layers on that one and gone from that to that. Would you agree that it looked better? Using a tripod, putting the lights on, putting this light on. Obviously got quite lucky with this cloud, but I did shoot the back of the car specifically so that we could get the clouds in, because if I shot the front of the car, you wouldn't have had the contrast of the red. And annoyingly, my daytime lights are nice and white, but my normal headlights are horrendous tungsten orange, so it didn't look great. But I really like these LED lights. So yeah, we've gone from that crappy, boring, to slightly better. Would be nice if I had a nice car, like I said. And then in the next video, what we're going to do, instead of going through all the principles of the Photoshop and everything else like that, we're just going to go straight into it, and I'm going to show you how to light paint. But that'll be in a future video. I'm not sure when I could be able to get to film that and edit that, but we'll see what happens. But that's an idea that I have in the future. So yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Filmed over 2 days, edited, let's go. What do you think about this? Comment below. I'm actually quite happy how it turned out, to be honest. Because when I first parked up there, it is a boring spot. I've got a boring car, but it's come out all right. It's come out all right. Using long exposure, F20 layer masking in Photoshop. You can do these layer masking for plenty of different reasons or different scenarios, like I said in a previous video about polarization and doing 2 different things of having polarizing the screen and then polarizing the other side of the car because of the way that polarizers work. I'm not going to get into that, so watch that video that I'll link up here. But yeah, happy with how this turned out. But yeah, like I said, plenty of scenarios like removing people or adding things in that was in different shots, different times of the day. Like what you could do is if you're in a cityscape, for example, you could have a nice sunset and leave the car parked up, leave your camera there, like switch everything off, get a brew or whatever in the back of your car, and then wait for people's lights to turn on in the buildings in the background, and then take that photo and then bring it into Photoshop and layer mask the different windows in that are lit, stuff like that. But yeah, that's just an idea. I thought it was pretty cool. Let me know if you've in the comments below if you've enjoyed this one and if you've taken anything from it. And as always, I have an Easter egg here of a car. I was nearly mentioned it then, a car that let me see if I can move. Oh, yeah, it is there. You can see it. Sick car, iconic car, one of the best cars of rally back in the day. Yeah, too many clues there, too many clues. Let me know in the comments below what you think that car is. And on that note, thank you very much for watching, and like and subscribe. All are cool things. Thumbs up really helps me out. A couple of videos that I've just had recently have started to pop off. So that's mega and I really appreciate it. So yeah, share this to all your friends and family, car enthusiasts, photography enthusiasts, videography enthusiasts, and anybody in between. Thanks very much for watching. I shall catch you in the next one.